Welcome to a series of podcasts discussing series of films.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
In a world inundated with prequels, sequels, spin-offs, and reboots, we ask the question,
Do we need one more? I think we do.
I think we don't. So, I just want to let the audience know this episode is being recorded in IMAX 3D, so make sure to put your glasses on. Otherwise, it will look like there's 6 of us?
Yeah.
9 of us?
Yeah.
9.
9.
See, this is why I pushed for VistaVision, but you were like, the format's too clunky, it's too big.
I just think film is dead. No, I'm totally kidding. Some guy just...
That's where we lost everyone.
Some guy just... No, I'm completely kidding. I love film. We went to go see one battle after another in 70 millimeter, and when that VistaVision on IMAX, that stuff clicked on.
Yeah, when the projector started going tick 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 tick, I was like, oh, I'm such a fake film guy. This is the first time I've heard that noise.
It was a beautiful experience, and that movie is...
It was a beautiful way to experience that, yeah.
Maybe the best movie of the year?
I think so.
Or maybe it's Avatar Fire and Ash, the movie that we're currently talking about.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
I guess you have to find out. Welcome to the final episode in our Avatar series. For now, if there's Avatar 4 and 5, which
we'll redo them.
We'll do an Avatar Strikes Back episode.
Exactly. I mean, I felt like for so long, like when we talked about doing this series, we were like, yeah, because 4 and 5 will definitely come out.
Yeah.
And so we'll do those when those movies come down. It'll be a nice 1 week slot. We can talk about those movies. And then Cameron has kind of been like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. He's like, played really coy.
He is, yeah. I think it is that thing of like the pressure to make another billion is a little high.
That's fair.
But...
I saw it's tracking very well.
All right.
But we'll obviously see what happens. But money is not what we're discussing on this episode.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, fair enough.
That's
how
why
much
we
did
do
this
what we
movie
do.
cost?
Just
Let's
kidding.
tell them how much, guys. No.
It did reportedly cost, from what I've seen, $400 million.
That is wild.
Which is crazy. It is currently, I think, tracking for like $350 for the weekend.
Okay.
So that's a good...
I thought you were going to say total, and I was like...
No, that would be...
But no, yeah, for the weekend, that's not bad.
That'd be a
A little bit
disaster.
lower budget than The Way of Water.
Mid-budget.
Not a little. Let me say, it was a budget of $60 million less than The Way of Water.
There you go. That's
so mid-budget.
So that explains some of the things that I saw. When Zoe Saldana showed up, not in Avatar.
Yeah, she was just in the suit for like 2 seconds.
Like,
really weird.
Yeah.
When that crew guy was just standing there holding his coffee cup in the corner.
Yeah. There was a guy in like pink shorts holding the boom mic.
So I think we'll, usually for these new movies, right, we'll jump into a non-spoiler talks about the movie and then we'll go spoiler. We're still going to do that. But before, we did want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that happened before the movie.
Yes.
And by that, I mean how our day was before. I went to work. What did you... No.
I went to your work and started a fight. No.
That Interesting. Fight Club, question mark?
Yes, yeah. In the back with all the other baristas.
All film podcasts must mention Fight Club at least once, or else they will be excommunicated.
Yeah, that's the third rule.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're
the
going to
first rule is don't talk about it. Second rule is don't talk about it. Third rule is share with everyone you know.
Yeah, if you're going to talk about it,
if you're going to do it on a podcast.
Do it on a podcast. We will talk a little bit right now just about some of the 2 specific trailers that we saw before we talk about the movie, because we record these episodes in advance usually.
Yeah.
The only time that we really do one that's like concurrent with what is currently going on, it's for newer movies like this. And so we get to talk about the Avengers Doomsday trailer.
Yes.
And teaser. And the Odyssey 6-minute preview that we saw.
Yes.
What do we want to talk first? We want to talk Odyssey? We want to talk Avengers?
I want to start by framing this conversation with when the Odyssey trailer ended, the theater clapped.
It's true.
And then when the Avengers trailer finished, it was like silent.
That was the reaction. I will say,
which I feel like it does not bode well.
Well, I said this when
for
we
one
walked,
of those movies anyway.
When we walked out of the theater, look, I don't think Doomsday, it objectively, no matter how good the movie is, cannot live up to the hype of Infinity War and Endgame because that had never been done before.
Yep.
But that being said, I think Doomsday probably would have gotten a bigger reaction in our theater had it not leaked a week before.
Yeah.
Everybody knew about it.
Okay, let's just start with the Avengers Doomsday. So I had the whole thing spoiled via an AI recreation of the trailer.
Yeah.
Which was pretty close, but it's still like
except for when he puts it in a treasure chest.
Yeah,
which is really
it's like
funny.
a pirate.
Yeah.
Pirate Steve Rogers. Someone write that down.
What did we want to start? We'll kind of go down the couch. We'll go, Dave. You want to start on your thoughts on the Doomsday teaser dish, and then me?
Yeah, my thing is I would be excited had they done anything interesting with like the Marvel, like we never established all the new heroes that they were like teasing and stuff, and so we never really got away from this era to be hyping up their return, I think, and so I find it's hard to be excited for something that feels like it just happened. I guess. And I feel like they're just the inability to move on is a little disappointing. But you know, I want to be excited for this movie. I find myself not yet. The teaser's fine, I guess. It's nothing.
Sure. I mean, it's very.
It feels like the kind of fake like teaser that like we would have faked back in the day, where we're like we don't have access to a lot, but we can do someone in a plaid shirt holding a baby by a window, you know, maybe like
which we did fake once.
Yeah, we
won't have to talk about that if we want, but we faked in a Doomsday post.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really part of faking that, but I was present to witness it. But
our friend group faked an Endgame post credit scene that,
which was really funny to watch.
May or may not have gotten like 2 to 3 million views.
It's funny when that's the shit that like really takes off, and you're like, well, we can't really keep doing that. There's no but yeah, those are kind of my general thoughts, I guess.
Dish, how you feeling?
I love Steve Rogers.
Sure.
So there's the two sides of like me personally. I'm a fan. Sure, bring him back. But then I also see people are like, nah, this is desperate, and like, but what about Anthony Mackie? And I'm also like, those are both true. Like,
yeah.
So I'm down to see it. Again, it was really nothing. Like nothing happened. We didn't like see Steve in action or anything.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I felt like this was going to happen anyways.
True.
Like, obviously, you know, I didn't say it before, so you can't prove anything. But it's just like, of course they're going to bring Steve back. Like, it was the golden age. They're bringing Robert Downey Jr. back. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it'll ever be what it was because, like, right, we were over a decade's worth of, like, building up to Infinity War Endgame. But, yeah, I'm intrigued. I don't think it was, like, anything groundbreaking of, like, I really need to see it now.
Yeah, I feel that. I am in a similar boat with the when it got leaked and when we all found out that Chris Evans was returning, it was that thing where I was like, did anybody think he wouldn't?
Yeah.
You know, like it is like Doomsday and Secret Wars, the multiverse stuff. He came back to do Johnny Storm for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, like he never really left.
He still needs the check.
I was talking to Laura about this last night because we were chatting about that trailer. And she was like, it feels like he just left. And I actually will say, I think part of that is just due to the world and specifically the pandemic. When Doomsday comes out, it will have been over 7 years since because Endgame was 2019. That's in crazy. April.
My, how time flies.
Yes. So it has been closer to 10 years. You know, you round up then zero. Like it didn't just happen.
I guess that really speaks to like how much like how many misses they've had since that.
How much has happened, but like has anything happened?
Yeah, it's a lot of like, do you guys respond to this? Are we going to do anything with this? I don't know, probably not.
They have been in a lot of ways, I think at times experimenting. And I will say, despite things maybe not being as some things being very good, some things being not very good, like I like that they have been experimenting, even if I haven't liked all the stuff that they have done. I mean, ultimately, like anything, right? It's like, we'll see how he functions within the movie. There was, I don't know if there's any legitimacy to this, but there was a rumor that he's the protagonist of Doomsday. If he is, I think that is a terrible idea. Anything can work, but to your guys' points, like, we have introduced all these characters, and to just like put Downey and Evans back at the forefront.
Yeah, like every movie that's come out since then has been like, here's the new lineup for the event. Oh, you guys don't care? Like it just feels a little like okay, yeah, that didn't work. We're just gonna do it now. And I'm like, I feel like this is like a good moment to like really like reestablish them, and then bring everyone back in. But
the issue with the experimentation, which I have liked, is that like we don't really get to see a lot of these characters. Like the biggest one is, I think, Shang-Chi. That movie came out, did very well, was pretty well reviewed.
We should have had a second one of those already.
We should. And Simu Liu has said, like, I also want a second one.
That was probably the best of like the batch, and like they're like them like not fast tracking a sequel like is, I think, a mistake on their part.
He's on record, right? And obviously I'm sure he has a good relationship with Marvel, right? He's not like trashing them, but like they said, what was it like to get the call? Hey, you're gonna come back.
Paul
for Doomsday.
Dano's the weakest actor in stuff.
But they said, how did it feel like when you got the call? And he said it's about fucking time. That is his that is his quote. And I think it's more like, like I'm getting back, you know what I mean? Not him being disrespectful.
Can't wait to
like,
put back on my Vans so I can go kick the crap out of something.
But I do think it's like Shang-Chi has shown up in animated projects. He was in Marvel Zombies. He was in What If. But he's only shown up in terms of like on-screen live action in his own movie, which feels like if you're going to introduce a bunch of new Avengers, like have them show up in other people's movies. I think, again, like we'll see what happens. I do think this is they are throwing a Hail Mary with Doomsday. I need to know, and I mean everybody does, this is not unique of me to say, but like, what is the story of this movie? Like, it has been described as the Avengers, the Thunderbolts, the Wakandans, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men all responding to Doom. Like that those are the focus. Which one it like I don't even really, you can say that, but I still struggle to figure out what that means.
Yeah.
But I do, I don't know what this is. I do think there's something to be said with like what the plot will be, considering Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, and Peggy Carter now have a baby. Yeah. Because Franklin Richards, Sue and Reed's baby, also in this movie. The Young Avengers are apparently in this movie.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And there's been apparently been some talk about Franklin Richards being very important, which makes sense because he's usually super powerful in the comics. Yeah. And that
everyone wants that baby.
Evans having a baby.
Everyone's doing a Raising Arizona over here.
It's true. Like, I am very curious to see what him having a kid has to do with the plot. You know what I mean? It feels like giving him something that big of being a father and having a son. Like, how does that infer him as a character? Which is probably what made Evans excited to return.
Yeah.
I think, I was definitely like speculating like, oh, they'll bring him back as Captain Hydra. And then in Secret Wars, we might get a little bit of proper Steve. And that will be what makes Evans come back, is he gets to play a villain.
Yeah. Which actually I would be more interested in that, like watching the new guys we've been setting up like have to fight the old team to like establish themselves, but it doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen.
Moving on to The Odyssey, a movie that is one of the biggest flexes, I think, from a filmmaker.
It's in the exact opposite direction. It's a movie that has pretty much everything going for it right now.
They released pre-sale tickets in IMAX a year in advance, and it's sold out,
which is insane.
Yeah.
Are we going?
I think we're gonna try.
We're certainly gonna try. We might have
probably
to
not that first day, but hey, we're gonna go open weekend.
We're gonna be like front row seats, like neck broken.
Like neck broken. Yeah.
Watching John Bernthal be like, huh, what? Like,
I don't want to go to a story about Odysseus.
Yeah. When he in that preview,
I watched this man made a sandwich.
Him in that preview when he's like, what have you heard about the story of the horse? I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of we'll do a similar thing, I suppose. Dave, what is your thoughts on the Odyssey 6-minute preview we got?
I'm very excited for that.
Fair.
I feel like I can't concisely put how excited I am for that movie. It just looks rad. And there's a lot of choices where I'm like, interesting. Did not think like that some of the armor was gonna be looking the way that it's like looking. But
kind of agree.
I like where I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna play in the full context, but it's Nolan, so I feel like there's an angle.
Which part? Well, we're gonna talk some spoilers for the Odyssey preview, but
well, you know, there's like some classic looking like gladiator kind of stuff looking Rome armor, and then there's like some Iron Man looking shit.
The guy who looks like Darth Vader.
Yeah. Which was, don't get me wrong, fucking cool.
Yeah, it's metal.
But I'm like interesting, because I keep getting this one recurring TikTok that someone. And I can't forget what their name is, but they're explaining how like the Nolan's team basically ghosted this guy who was like famous for making like authentic armor to the period, and given that this is I guess taking a more stylistic approach than we originally thought, it's like, okay, I kind of see it, but I am like, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that kind of armor in this kind of movie. So but either way, I'm still very excited because he's clearly has a take on it. And I'm very excited for that.
Fair. Yeah. Dish?
I am the type to avoid trailers. But this one made me excited. I'm not going to lie.
How about a 6-minute preview?
Exactly. Because it wasn't a trailer, it made me excited. But no, from the original one, I was like, okay, a movie. But this one, I was like, oh, this type of movie. So I'm actually more hyped than I was before. Looks very well done. It's going to be a mind bender, I'm sure, in some way, shape, or form. It looked rad. I think I love Matt Damon. You can't go wrong with Matt Damon. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think altogether it looks like it's gonna be solid.
Yeah, I think, I mean, this is, like you said, it's a movie that has everything going for it. I think I can't think of a person who's not excited about what he's going to do with this.
Yep.
We've talked about it off air a ton, obviously, and like what I am very excited about is like, this is something that Nolan has never really done before.
No. We debated how much of the magic was going to be like, magic, but how much of the gods and monsters are going to be like actual like gods and monsters. And
to the preview's credit, it does show us that it is going to get pretty authentic, I suppose. To the story, I mean, the preview, to kind of break it down really quickly.
I hope there's a star baby as one of the gods. Is what I hope.
That's what we would hope. Yeah.
It's on trend.
A little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah. Show me what you got.
the preview, starts with basically a retelling of the Trojan horse and showing what that experience is like. I think that whole sequence is incredibly
killer.
Well, like, if that is 5% what that sequence is like, we're in for a real treat.
Mm-hmm.
The tension of that is really palpable. We get a little bit of the score, which is very, like, gripping.
Do you know who's doing the score? Is it Zimmer? Or is it?
I think it's Ludwig.
Okay, I was gonna say it's probably Ludwig who's been kind of crushing it with Nolan right now.
Yeah, I Ludwig is a very. I mean, obviously he's a 2-time Academy Award winner, I think now.
I feel like he's got more than that, but
he's one of the best in the game right now.
He's killing it between that, Sinners, like dude's on fire.
Yeah, he might win for Sinners, honestly. This year we'll see how the Oscars go, but it kind of tells that brief shows a brief little bit of the Trojan horse thing, and then it gives us a little supercut of sequences in the movie.
What else is to come?
And there was a rumor for a while about what they were filming for the Odyssey, about all these grand sets, these massive crowds. And one rumor slipped in that there was like a 12-foot tall animatronic Cyclops, to which I remember talking with you about, Dave, and being like, oh dear God, please let that be true.
Yeah.
And there is a Cyclops in this preview that we see. It looks
like a Cyclops.
Incredible.
It does.
It is on screen in that preview for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was kind of like, ooh, wow.
Hunched over so you can't see how tall it is.
Exactly. Yep. And I will say, I wish we had I need a still of it because, we literally see it for 2 seconds. My brain barely processed it. I might need to go see Avatar again just, to do like a Batman 89 trailer.
Is that playing only in the IMAX showings? Or
yes.
is that like okay.
Unfortunately,
my grandpa wants to see it again, and he doesn't even really care for these movies, so I don't know why he wants to go. But like, I was like, maybe I'll take him, but I don't know if I can get him into the IMAX.
It's fair. Well, our friend of the show, Nathan, came and saw this with us.
Yes.
He was originally going to go to an AMC, and then he came to the Regal where we went because the IMAX theater there is one very spectacular, and
it is.
The AMC was not showing that version of their IMAX was not showing the Odyssey preview. Ours was, but to the Cyclops thing, I wish we could see an image of it because based on the brief snippet that we got, if that is an animatronic, that is
incredible.
Maybe one of the best animatronic or practical effects I have seen in film. Period.
Yeah.
It genuinely
genuinely
blew me away.
Looks spectacular. Which I mean, we had a whole conversation during our Wicked series about like building things that are real and having it look fake. And so like to build something as absurd as a Cyclops and have it look real.
I mean, Nolan's obviously commitment to practical effects. Not to say that he doesn't use CGI because he does. Like, but
he uses it in a much more clever and reserved kind of way.
Yeah, he wants to try to make it real first if he can. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I think one, not only is this cast unbelievable, this is Nolan basically, not that he's gotten to do what he's wanted for a while now, but this feels like Nolan completely unrestrained. Like after making a Academy Award winning 3-hour R-rated biopic about
that's like mostly black and white.
That's mostly black and white about the guy who invented the nuclear bomb, which is a heavy, obviously very serious issue. And have it win a bunch of awards and make basically $1 billion.
Be like the second highest grossing movie of the year.
Like the fact that he was able to accomplish that, Universal clearly is like, literally, you have the keys to the kingdom. You can do anything and everything that you want. And it seems like he is taking full advantage of that. And I cannot wait to see what that's going to be.
I'm ready to watch the rest of that movie, like right now.
Fair.
It's probably my most anticipated for next year.
Well, good. I pull out a remote. I'm like, here it is.
Whoa! We're going to watch it on an iPhone Touch.
Oh, God. And then Nolan will burst through the door. Him and Jim Cameron and yell at him.
He just has like, it's like when you unplug people from the Matrix, he's like, and he just goes down wherever he is.
I will say, after some pretty, dystopian entertainment news the last couple weeks, the last couple years, but recently there was some...
Talking about the Patriot games?
So, that I'll talk about on my other podcast, Screaming and Crying and We're All Burning. But,
coming to a bookstore near you.
The Warner Brothers Netflix Paramount thing is pretty dystopian, I think in many ways. Seeing the trailer for the Odyssey, it instilled a little bit of hope in me that at least
comforting.
Some people are really, gonna fight for this experience.
It'll be the last movie, but hey.
Yeah, they'll be like, that's it, we're done, wrap it up.
This is the last one, they're shutting it all down.
Oh no.
Everything's just on YouTube now.
Well, the Oscars will be on YouTube.
That's why I made that joke.
I actually am okay with that.
That actually makes sense.
Think that's relatively...
When the slap happened, I was like, can I, is it streaming somewhere? No. And then I didn't have access to cable, so I didn't see it.
Well, 4 years from now...
So if they staged that, it didn't do me any good.
Unfortunately, that was not staged.
Yeah, no, probably not.
But 4 years from now, you'll be able to watch the Oscars on YouTube.
Wow.
Way to go, guys. We won.
We did it.
Good stuff.
Want to talk some movie?
Yeah, which one?
Grease.
Sure.
Grease Lightning, anyone?
I don't love it that much.
You're wrong. No.
I'm sorry.
No, it's funny. I used to not be so hot on Grease, and then recently I've come around on it. I kind of get it now.
I haven't rewatched it in forever, so my opinion very well could change. But I
Fire and Ash.
I don't hate it, but but Avatar is back.
Yes. This journey began 16 years ago.
2009.
Like that. Yeah,
16 years ago.
I'm not good at math, but
I did
pretty basic arithmetic. But
hey, well, we got there. It's been about 3 years, or less, thinking what our original thought of the release date of Avatar 2 was. And we are officially back in Pandora. 4 and 5, again, kind of up for debate at this point.
Yes.
But as it comes to Avatar 3, we will start with our non-spoiler thoughts. what is everybody's thoughts? We'll kind of do it again. We'll go down the couch. Dave, how you feeling about Avatar? Unspoilers. Thoughts on Fire and Ash.
I really enjoyed this. I know I kind of was joking when I said long. I do think this movie is very long, and I think you can feel the length on it. But this movie is truly an epic.
Yeah.
And it's that thing where like this movie's doing some familiar things, and we'll get more into that in spoilers, but I really enjoyed watching it. It's just, it's especially in the 3D, it's a very grand and spectacular thing. And like these movies hit different in theaters.
Totally.
We were kind of talking about that before, but these really do hit differently on the big screen. And so I really enjoyed it.
Fair. Dish, how you feeling?
I would probably say I don't have many non-spoiler thoughts. I was not really a big fan of Avatar from the first one. Even the second one, I didn't watch it when it came out.
M. Night Shyamalan's really
and now I am. So
we got him, guys.
You should go watch it. Because I have some thoughts, and I'm curious to hear you guys open up as we break the spoiler seal. But it's a good movie. You should go check it out. Just be prepared because it is long.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like my general non-spoiler thoughts. I think a lot of this movie really works for me. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of, we've talked about on the previous episodes that the first Avatar, that maybe the characters are a little standard in that first one. I think as Cameron has continued to tell this story, I think he has brought a lot of interesting ideas and dynamics to a lot of the characters. I think they get expanded on in this movie that I really, more so in ways that I really am intrigued by. I think it suffers a little bit. Not to say that the third act is bad, because I do not think that. But I do think in a lot of ways it is playing a lot of similar notes to Way of Water, and in one specific way to the original first Avatar.
Yes.
Which it's one of those things where when it happens, I still like it. Like I'm still excited by it. It's not that I'm still like engaging with it. He's a very hot take. Cameron is a very engaging, dynamic filmmaker.
Mm-hmm. In what way?
In every single fucking way. But it's hard to analyze parts of it and be like, oh, like this is original, because he's offering a lot of new original stuff for the series.
Yeah.
But in terms of some of its structure near the end, I think it is doing things that we have maybe seen before. But that being said, I fully love this series. I have really started to connect with it. Again, talking about what you guys have talked about, seeing in the theater, like it is not a surprise to anyone, but like it cannot be undersaid how immersive seeing Avatar in theaters is. We saw it in IMAX 3D, and I cannot remember the last time that I saw a movie in 3D. I really tried to think of what my last movie was. And it was certainly when I was like a child. I do not remember.
Was it The Muppet Show at Disneyland?
It might have been, honestly. Now that you're saying it, that is one of the contenders for sure.
Nothing like a joke that ends up being maybe true.
Maybe true. But, seeing it in, like, Cameron really does know how to do it. Yes, this movie's very long, and there's a specific point where you think the movie's wrapping up, and then you find out that there's like an hour more.
Yeah, an hour 10 minutes.
But even with that, I was completely invested and still engaging with the movie, even when I was like, oh, I guess I thought we were done. Like my brain having to reset.
Yeah, no, it's very spectacular, and I think it's still a great watch. I do think the length works against it in a couple parts. But like it's like the same thing with the other two movies. I don't really know where you'd make the cuts for the way the grandness of the scale is and how much of it is like about the world. It's kind of hard to say, like, wag the finger and be like, you didn't need that, because I kind of see why it's all there.
There was one specific plot line where I was like, where is this going? And then by the time we get to the third act, it makes complete sense. And I was like, okay, great. And that is the case for many movies, but like with a movie this long, you keep cutting back to a certain storyline, and I was like, I don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah.
And by its ending, I really resonate with how it's playing with its own themes and how it connects. I'll reference back to this point when we talk about spoilers and I say what it is. But I think this movie is not. I think Way of Water is still my favorite. But this I still find really engaging and fun. I think the performances are generally across the board really good.
Yeah. I was actually going to say, I think Sam Worthington's doing his best work in the series in this one.
I agree.
But I also feel like this is like the most like in depth the writing has ever been for his character. So
it's a lot of conflict. And same with, I know we talked about Neytiri not getting a ton to do in Way of Water. She gets a lot more to do in this.
Yeah, it's like mom and dad are kind of at the forefront again in this one.
Even though the perspective of the film is different, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I think she's doing wonderful. It cannot be undersaid how good Stephen Lang is in these movies. He's
phenomenal.
Miles Quaritch started as like I suppose like some of the like most of the characters, started very I don't want to say one-dimensional, but very typical, I suppose, in like angry military guy. And as the series has continued, they have found new bits of him that I love.
Yeah.
And
he's definitely the character that's like done the most growing.
He has, I think, almost he certainly is up there as having the most to deal with. And I think we cannot address who is on the poster of this movie, the new inclusion, one of the new inclusions to this series, Una Chaplin as Varang, one of the new antagonists, leader of the Ash people.
Terrifying.
Terrifying, but also
step on my neck, please.
Step on my neck a little bit. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I will quote. We've quoted this podcast before, the Blank Check podcast that we're both big fans of. I follow David Sims on Letterboxd, and his Letterboxd review was Varang, push me. Which I would say I agree with him wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
It is very funny that they gave Stephen Lang like the Varang functions as her own character and has a lot of interesting ideas.
Yeah.
But when her and Quaritch link up, it is
a little like, what's gonna happen?
It is certainly playing with fire. Not to give a pun. But yeah, I think all the new inclusions to the world, we see bits of it.
The Ash people are very scary.
The Ash people are very scary.
They're very intense and
but they're also like, not to get too spoilers because this is in the trailer, when Varang kind of explains how they came to have the ideology that they have. Like, they are the people that feel like they have been forgotten by their god, right? Awa, the spiritual connection of Avatar is something that's been very prevalent in both the first film and the second film. And I think it is tested in this more so than it. I don't think it's ever. Not that this is a knock against the other movies, but like they don't test the connection with Awa, right? It's not about like, what does this mean to us? Is this real? It's just kind of about understanding the world. And this is the first time that I feel like the series is pushing against who Awa is to the people, which I found really fascinating and intriguing. Let's move into spoilers. I do, since you said you don't have many non-spoiler thoughts, Dish, if you're okay starting us off with your spoilery thoughts.
Who the heck is the main character?
Jake.
But is he?
I know.
I will say a lot happened in this movie.
Yeah,
so much.
It's a lot of movie,
and I think I wrestled with it last night. You know, the Quaritch
tossing in your sleep, like
I couldn't sleep just thinking about Quaritch. Quaritch, how much I want to be him.
So true. Yeah, how much I really.
I just want that shoulder workout that he's been doing.
Yeah, like no, he has, I think, had one of the craziest arcs. I think neck and neck for me with Curie.
Yes,
I think that's another standout. And this movie, Spider, like those
doing
three
good work
for me
building
are
him
like
up in this one because I
so
really didn't care
dynamic.
for him in the last one.
Right? He was like, okay, this kid. And honestly, I am very happy that with Spider and the arc that they chose, his mask thing was resolved within like the first third of the movie.
Yeah.
Just get it out of the way, do its thing, let him breathe.
And then it's also like a great plot point of like, if they figure out how to replicate the breathing thing, like,
oh dear God. Yeah.
We're truly cooked, fam. Like we need to do something about, because I was like, I literally was thinking like, and this is kind of what the character is in Way of Water, was like, he shows up and he's just like, he's here now, you have to deal with him. And I'm like, I don't like what this is necessarily. I don't know that I want to have to deal with this. And then like, here it is. You're like, see this, they got me. Like now I'm like, poor Spider. That's kind of not cool.
And I want to hear you guys more expand, but my other first spoiler thought is, should this have just been called like More Water?
Possibly, yeah.
That was in a great way.
Some more water.
One of my qualms is it felt like it should have been more connected to the second one for some of the things you mentioned of like the echoes and the parallels.
Yeah, there's some of the stuff that happens in this movie I feel like probably should have been established in Way of Water. Because for a movie that's called Fire and Ash, we don't really get a lot of insight into the fire people.
And I think you called it. It should have ended on a volcano.
Which I will. I mean,
there was a volcano,
magnetic volcano with the fire tornadoes.
It got
not
close.
Bad. I won't lie.
Yeah, I did.
Pretty
like that.
Cool. But we already kind of mentioned the finale of this is like almost beat for beat the Way of Water finale. Minus
with the plus on the end.
Yeah, with like a plus of like the thing, but it's like. The movie is like running to the beats of I've kidnapped your family, you've got mine, we're holding each other hostage. Jake and Quaritch are going to do a duel to the death.
Some similar
ends with them both getting away.
I loved the call out, and I know we're in spoilers. We don't do the summary anymore. Hopefully you've watched it and understand what the end of the movie is. But the fact that when he saves Quaritch, we're all thinking it. He's like, this is awkward.
It was, which I'm glad they did because it kind of made it like,
glad.
Are we just going to keep doing this every 3 weeks to 10 years until we die?
Yeah, that was a good move on the writing part. I was like, that made it feel so much more real, and they weren't just going to like blow over it and be like, all right, let's fight again.
Yeah, which like on the one hand, it is funny because it does feel like there's this never-ending battle for like resources and colonization, and it just kind of never goes away anyway. And they've got this like Javert Valjean thing going, which makes me like laugh because now I'm just thinking about like him just doing the like the confrontation song.
I stole a loaf of bread.
Yeah, like, you robbed our house.
Yeah,
you're blue.
I do agree. I think this movie is at a disservice at times because the first Avatar is about finding the world of Pandora, the second one is about finding in other ways as well, but like a big chunk of it is learning about the reef people. That this one you do learn about the Ash people, you learn about how they came to be and their cultures and stuff like that, but this one does go back to the reef people a lot, so you feel very familiar in the previous one. In terms of the title and kind of what the movie is grappling with, I believe this one was originally called The Seed Bearer, or the last one was called that, which is I'm assuming a reference to Curie. But they say it in the beginning of the movie. The fire of hatred only leads to the ash of grief. Which is what I think
good line
of a line that I like quite a bit and is the thesis for this movie, right? Obviously the Sully family, Neytiri, Jake, everyone is dealing with the death of Neteyam, and struggling with what that means. That Jake feeling kind of a hatred towards his son,
a resentment,
and a resentment. Neytiri feeling a resentment towards the Sky people, towards Spider.
Spider Man.
Yeah, the
Spider Man.
Oh, what?
Wait a second.
Which actually, the non-fire red painted avatar.
Yeah.
That chief, her.
The ones like the Union
her
Jack
design,
thing going.
Which what?
At the end, she didn't have like a conversation, or are we talking about
the people who come to aid?
No, the people who come to aid.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
One of them had like a
markings,
Union Jack kind of thing going, like.
Her markings looked like Spider-Man.
A little bit, yeah.
Something about it, like the angles, I was like, that's a Spider-Man suit on her.
That's actually a very good point. I thought it looked very like Union Jack, like Captain Britain, but
she comes in and
she's
it is like,
very like Spider-Man as well.
She comes in, she's like, hello, what are we doing here?
What are we doing here? Me and the squad people.
We're taking on Varang, are we?
Get your lizards, we're gonna do a thing. I'm here for Michael Caine Navi like rolling up.
Well, we don't get Michael Caine, but we do get David Thewlis Navi.
Okay, was he
he's the village or the wind traders.
Okay.
He's the head of the...
That's so funny because I didn't know he was in this movie until the credits rolled, and I saw him and I meant to ask who the hell he was.
You look back, he's got the lips.
Yeah.
They recreate his lips.
No, the minute you said he was the Sky Trader, I can see him now, and it's funny because I just assumed it was going to be someone...
important,
like potentially like a legacy like Native American actor or something like that. But
sure,
but you know, Thewlis is a great character actor, and
he's wonderful. He also apparently has a bigger role in 4.
Oh, that is
what he has
Gotta
said.
point out and highlight the air people.
Yes.
Like, okay, I think with what we were saying about like the movies and the focuses and all this type of stuff, I think the first one, like origin story, all that good stuff. Second one, you get the dog barking in the background. I don't know if you ever hear that, but you get the second one is like, all right, here's the not the blue people. They all are the blue people.
Yeah.
The ocean people, right?
Yeah.
Like the
reef
water
people,
and all this people, the reef people.
Yeah.
You get to introduce to this culture in a deeper way. I almost feel like what we got out of like the air people within the 20
like 15,
minutes
15, 20
was
minutes.
like the same depth that we got from the fire people.
Yeah.
Like maybe a little bit more, but like honestly, I feel like we got like that immersion to culture. And this movie for me was deceptively not about learning who the fire people like really are as much as we learned who the reef people really are. Right? It was more about that Quaritch, what's his standing with the army, and what is they're still looking for the whale guts, and like again the rehash of like we want $100 billion of dead whale brains, right? And like that's the focus again in that world.
Would you say that's what you want for Christmas, or
yeah? If I could get $100 billion worth of whale brains from space,
I'll
space
compromise. I'll just take $100 billion. I don't even need I don't even need the cure to immortality.
No middleman.
Let's just keep it clean and direct.
You know what, Matt? You're fired.
Just take it. My routing number is 342.
Yeah. What's your social security, real quick?
Oh, it's
12.
8675309.
Oh shit.
But
this plan's working.
His name is Jenny.
What I liked about the Ash people in terms of explore, where I felt their exploration for me, was again, I know I briefly touched upon it in their lack of connection to Awa, but specifically what that means when that happens. Varang has that story again that's in the trailer that she says, the fire it destroyed our village and ruined us, and we prayed and prayed and prayed, and Awa did not come. And what happens what happens to a people who have lost that connection to their world and to like the world around them, to their God? I'm not saying if you don't believe in God that like you're evil. I do not believe that at all. But
But Neytiri would disagree.
Neytiri certainly would disagree with me. And she'd shoot an 8-foot long bow or arrow into my chest.
Never a wrong time to do that.
But yeah, when I say Awa, I don't really reference God. I more speak to nature, which I think is what Cameron is more directly speaking on. When they lose that, they then seek how do they take as much for when it's not about sharing nature and the world with everyone. Yeah, it's about what you can take from that world because you feel like that world has betrayed you, which I found really wonderful. Which is why when they see those guns, Quaritch, and they see Jake using them. The Na'vi people that we've met previously have recognized that is something that is inhuman, that is something that is destructive, and they see that, the Ash people see that and say, "How do you make thunder? What we can do?" They see an opportunity to be able to take more.
Yeah. And I like how Quaritch is like, you want to know how the gun works? I'll show you how the gun works.
Yeah. Well, because he's
first date. I don't know.
He is a guy who is a part of that system that mined a world for all that it had. Yep. And now they've gone to a new planet to do the same. That the Ash people and the humans, the Sky people, are not too dissimilar in their goals of like taking taking Pandora and severing that connection, right? You know, Home Tree being destroyed in the first one, and that Varang and the Ash people that they love to cut. I cannot remember the name of it, but the tendril that the Na'vi have, that they are spitting in the face of this world by doing that. That they speak that it's a punishment worse than death, right? Which is what they talk about, and that aspect of them I find really fascinating. And
I was gonna say
important.
it's very believable. Like how they got there. I really say the short amount of like origin and the what I felt was still like a glimpse into the Ash people's culture. Like it's very believable. You think of the world, you think of the other cultures that are around them. Oh, hey, this really bad thing happened, and when they needed their god, it didn't come. So she's like, well, who cares? We're gonna make our own destiny. We're doing our own thing.
Fuck it, we're just gonna have to go out there and take what we can get because
I think that
we could all get blown up again.
It works really well. I also didn't know it was that actress,
Una Chaplin.
I realized it was her afterwards, and I'm actually watching Game of Thrones for the first time ever.
Oh, nice,
nice.
And so I was like, hey, wait a second.
I will say, I was telling Dave about this, and people know. I don't know if you recognize her last name. She is the granddaughter of Charlie Chaplin.
Whoa.
Yeah, when he told me, my head exploded, and I was like, oh no.
And
this is the last movie.
Didn't even think about it.
I think, again, everyone is good in this movie. I think she's fucking great.
She does an amazing job.
No, she's got a great physicality too.
Yes,
She was funny because of the origins.
Well, yeah, it's part of her family history.
It's in the,
That's
it's
true.
in the blood.
Yeah.
I wasn't being dirty, I swear.
Her physicality, Dave. Yeah.
Yes, no, I just meant the full performance capture of it all is very it's like the kind of stuff Andy Serkis is bringing where you're just like damn, they know.
It was all really well put together. Yeah, it wasn't like that's what I also add to the believable part. It's like the whole thing of their people worked really well.
Yeah, and speaking more on that, the AWA obviously being a big part of this series, but specifically I think a really big part of this movie. When I talked about the third act and what I was referencing earlier of a storyline that I didn't know where it was going was Loak and Payakan, this whole relationship with the Tolkien.
Oh yeah. Unite the whales.
Yeah, that Loak, who is the narrator of this film, a change up from the last two, goes off on his own little mini quest.
He does have his coming of age, rite of passage type of thing.
Yes,
going for him. Yeah,
and with us continuing the threads of the colonization by the Sky people, and the new threads of the Ash people. I was like, okay, where is the rest of this going? How do we get the Tolkien connected back to this outside of part of what the Sky people are colonizing them for? The fact that the third act of this movie takes place during a massive, very spiritual ceremony of the next generation connecting with AWA and connecting with the ancestors and all this other stuff, that is the dramatic tension, right, of destroying this sacred part of their culture. I found very relevant, and unfortunately continuously relevant. And that when that connected, I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like a waste. Not that I felt like it was a waste, but it was kind of like, how does this?
Yeah, it's the kind of stuff that I thought. I mean, they basically do set it up in Way of Water, but we have to kind of retread over some of it to set it up properly for this movie. Yeah, and so it's like in a movie that is 3 hours and 10 minutes, it's just a lot of movie.
Yeah, certainly.
And again, I don't know where you shuffle things around, but and do it all still. But
I was surprised on the storyline of the Tolkien.
Yeah.
That they agreed to fight. I'm not gonna lie.
I also agree. I thought maybe that would be we won't be there, and then maybe they might come in. And
they might
dramatically
AWA's called.
You're right. This is our home. We have to do it. Which I'm all here for those trips. Those are, I live for those kind of last minute. The Knights of Rohan coming over the hill.
Yeah. Well, it's that they introduce another member of the Tolkien, the one member of Payakan's birth clan that is still surviving. I don't remember the name. It also starts with a T. It was Taukan or something like that.
Tron.
Tron, yeah, he was Tron Ares.
Yeah.
But
allegedly Jared Leto in the mocap for that.
Please don't let. If that was true, I would be. This movie drops 2 stars.
I knew it.
No, it's gonna give him
familiar.
enough. It's gonna give him enough steam to do another 6 franchises.
Great, wait, yeah, because Haunted
only
Mansion
once,
really
but you know
worked
he's
out.
gonna do another 6 of them.
But you know that they introduced this new character, and you see, you know, Pyakon was damaged. You know, his fin, and he's kind of lightly scarred and stuff from what the Sky people did to him and his clan. And you see this one remaining member who is blinded and battered and still has a lot of their stuff, you know, buried into his skin. It's very
it's a very
hard to look
it's
at.
kind of a hard image to look at. It reminded me of and only because I rewatched it recently, The Princess Bride, where he says to the pain and he just describes all the things he's gonna do to him. And I was like, oh, like that's like what that is though. Like like you just have your ears basically.
Yeah, and the speech, you know, talking about the rest of the Tolkien. One, love the design of the matriarch with the like earrings and the tattoos. She's like a cape.
I also love that it's the matriarch too. Like that's
fucking
awesome.
rad.
They're like who's coming to the rescue? Grandmammy. Like she's coming in to fuck like swinging.
Massive too. She's huge, bro.
I loved how the last movie, like we got one of those silver ships and it was like, oh, like one of the Tolkien's gonna smash it because he's pretty big. And so the humans are like, all right, bring a bigger 5 of those ships and a bigger one. And the matriarch is just like, okay.
Just assaults the first one, the biggest one, and just takes that right away.
To play. Like,
so good.
But you know, the Tolkien have this code of like, we do not kill whatsoever at all. We've exiled Pyakon because he's broke that rule. And you know, that this movie offers up the whole thing of like, you know, it's not that is it is naive of us to have that rule, but that was a rule set in a world that was everyone was respectful of each other.
Yeah,
that there was an order, and that the Sky people have brought nothing but death and chaos, and that when something like that happens, you sometimes have to fight back.
Yeah, now the Tolkien are like, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
A little bit,
and they fly away.
To which I would say, you know, which is a moment that I like, but talking about what we were talking about in non-spoilers of the third act kind of feeling a bit similar, you know, they do the thing, you know, amongst a couple of the things that happen that are similar in the third act, the animals all coming to the rescue.
Yes.
I was like, feels very similar to the first Avatar.
Yeah.
Who sent them again?
Awa.
What part was that after?
So it was when Kiri matrixes into the into Awa.
And what'd she see?
She saw the Star Child.
Yes,
from 2001.
That was insane.
Little did we know every movie we picked was building to this movie.
That was
That's
insane.
kind of crazy.
I'm like, what'd you guys think of that?
I fucking loved it.
I thought it was
so
ominous,
weird.
but I was also like, in my head, all I heard was the like, show me what you've got.
Yeah. It was shocking. I was expecting
nothing like a big head in the spirit realm.
True.
But like clearly a baby head too.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Which is, I'm sure, a clear reference. I'm sure he's referencing 2001.
Oh, yeah. I feel like he has to.
You can't not.
You can't not.
Can I do it?
Yeah. That one was, I was like, I really wrestled with that one too. Like, do I prefer the ominous light being or just the personified? Yep. This is giant baby head.
Giant face.
Like, he did it, you know? Like,
yeah.
You can't take it back. But also, I was like, did that take me out of it? Is Awa now a giant baby?
There was, because of Way of Water, I was thinking like, oh, is it going to be Sigourney Weaver? Is it going to be Grace?
Yeah.
Because they kind of,
she's
you know,
like, I've killed Awa. I
Yeah.
am Awa. There is only me. Bow
Like-
before me and Stanford sweaters everywhere.
Does Awa like take the form of someone that you're connected to or whatever, which is also a trope that happens in movies like this. But no, Grace does make an appearance at the very end.
Yes.
That you
And
find
she's as tall as the rest of the Avatar in the spirit realm.
Yes.
Yes.
A
That
detail
was-
that makes sense, I suppose, but also is very like
Just like glossed over.
yeah.
It didn't even process.
But so
for me
was
for a second.
Spider. So it's like,
This is true.
How do we, I mean,
That's crazy that they just kept calling him Spider. Like, you know, I just
Yeah.
I'm for it.
like I'm guessing he basically chose that name, but you think at a certain point they'd be like, your name is like.
I think it was
Bob,
a name.
John.
Yeah. His name's Miles.
It's Jarnathan.
Like it's like
hell yeah.
like Jake is still Jake. You know, he didn't choose like a Navi
well, he's
name.
Mud Jake.
He's Mud Jake.
This
Let's
is
face
true. This is true.
He's Jake Sully.
Jake Sully.
I actually
Jake Cirque du Soleil.
speaking of Jake, should we talk a little bit about Taruk Makto making his return?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, that is what I needed in the second one, and that was solid.
Did anyone else think the movie low-key was going to end with him basically like reuniting with it, and it'd be like a next movie we're going to come and do the big war?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
That's really what I thought. And then I was also
too.
like, I think though we might actually get the big war, and then the big war happened, and I was like, how much movie has happened, and how much more are we going to get?
A lot to both of your questions.
Which is correct.
They create this. I don't think they bring it up in the first movie. They add this idea of Jake not wanting to become Taruk Makto again because he's.
They set up sort of a Hulk thing.
If you connect the beast, you become the beast.
Yeah,
which I don't feel like is acknowledged in the third act.
Is he saying he likes killing?
I think he is, but also, I'm like, is that the case for all the other ones? Like all the other creatures that they connect with?
I don't think it just because Taruk
thing?
Is such a
big
unattainable
creature.
thing. Yeah, that it's like six people.
Well,
in all
I guess
history
they've introduced this idea that like you can send your signal back, you know, a little bit, and like
because they were playing it with
Chaplin's character, Crank.
Varang.
Like does that, and then I imagine that Taruk can do it too, and like, the animals do it to some degree, but like he's a little bit actually like malicious about it, maybe, or maybe not malicious. That's probably not the best word, but like he like actively like uses it to fight back to maintain independence, whereas the other creatures are just sort of like, oh, I'll vibe now,
or it's just a stronger connection.
This is true.
Yeah. I felt like
we've all plugged too many things in one outlet.
So true. We're doing it right now. With all this,
that sucker's looking like
the
a
light
like
that says protection is on. It's fine.
It's weird. There's a little like arrow dial that's like green, yellow, red, and it's past the red. I don't think there's smoke. I don't think
it kind of looks like the dial in Back to the Future 3.
Yeah, rock and roll. But I do feel like that's an idea that kind of goes unexplored.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that they like established that I thought they were going to do more with, like the Sky People and the Ash People, and what we get like ends up working for what the story ends up being. But I thought like we were going to like really like spend, like I deadass thought when they were doing the Sky Trader thing, I thought this was low key going to be a pirate movie for the majority of it, pirate road trip per se.
Yes.
Little disappointed it's not, because I honestly probably would have sat down for 3 hours of that.
I would love a spinoff of the Sky Traders, the Wind Traders.
I'm ready for that movie for sure. Like when we get more of that, I think that was interesting.
I will say when the attack goes horribly wrong, I mean for people attacking it went well, I guess, but when they get attacked and they blow up the ship and the poor, I don't know what the like jellyfish
broke my heart
fish
seeing it
when
sink.
it was like going down.
No!
Dude, I thought he was gonna let him out.
I thought he was too, and then he was just
running
like
up to like pull the plug on the saddle or whatever, the harness, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna book it and jump with my family," which made sense.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think you can.
I thought he was gonna ride that thing out.
A Death Star thing.
Yeah,
would have been awesome if he had. Instead, we had to sadly watch that thing implode on itself.
So sad.
It was a choice, and I think it was to make us sad.
So if you're listening to this and you still haven't seen,
because it was just like,
oops.
Yeah, that stuff. Like again, and then
but it's all like really, really strong.
Totally.
It's just I thought I thought they were gonna get stranded and have to hang out with the Ash People in their culture for a majority of it, and then it just ended up sort of like redirecting itself back into the Way of Water setting, which I just thought was like
get the
it was like
whales.
Yeah, we're just gonna do Way of Water Part 2, and I thought for sure we were gonna do Duel on the Edge of a Volcano.
I do like setting up a group of Navi
and
as
maybe
antagonists.
learn more about like actually like how that went, and if maybe it's connected to the Sky People or not. But I guess it's not. But
I mean, time may tell, I suppose. I will say, and again, it just kind of hit some of the points of some of the main characters and stuff like that. I know we said it earlier. Boy, Quaritch is cool.
Yep.
What they continue to do with him, like we learn a little bit about Spider's mother. In this movie,
do you
believe
his
connection to her? I do,
because I questioned it.
Yeah.
I was like, when he delivered that news about his mother, I was like, was that real?
I believe that is what Quaritch thinks the situation is. I don't know if Spider's mother may have agreed.
For sure.
Well, I keep waiting for it to be revealed that Spider's mother is Sigourney Weaver. I just Like, I'm just waiting for that. Like, look, it's a long journey in space. We were all there. There's a power dynamic that we're both attracted to, and one thing leads to another.
Yeah.
And him and Curie have a Luke Leia situation.
They do. I mean,
which is maybe not the case, but for me, it's not off the table yet until I see a flashback of the mother, who might just be like a badass military bitch.
Yeah, the illusion is that she's a soldier. That it's
warrior. Why did I say bitch?
Yeah, because she went into the battle. They said, but it was like a nameless character.
She died in the battle of the first film.
Yes,
along with Quaritch.
And she's probably not Michelle Rodriguez.
No,
I was thinking that for a second. I was like, wait, are they? But I was like, no, that wouldn't have happened.
That doesn't track really. No. She doesn't seem interested in Quaritch or any other
I don't think she
guy
would.
for that matter.
I was happier that Quaritch came back in this movie than I was when he came back in the second one.
Yeah.
I was happier to see him like, okay, he's got some more runway. He got some more investment in him. He's changing. He's not changed. Mm-hmm. He's still like, I know who pays my check.
But he's like slowly like reconnecting to nature in an interesting sort of way.
Okay, this was a part of another question I wanted to ask. Like, is this a faith-based movie?
In a way.
Because I felt like Jake was really trying to make it and be like, you got to get the connection, man. You got to get the connection, man. And if it doesn't happen in the next movie for Quaritch, then I'm like, what was the payoff there?
Yeah.
Because he's really trying to point Quaritch like, hey, you got that little thing, plug it into the world. Yeah. Like, you got to experience this. And I'm hoping that's obviously explored by the end of the whole thing, and I imagine it will be, but I kind of wanted it in this.
I feel like them having this like Valjean Javert thing, I feel like if Jake Sully like represents like what good change can do, I feel like he will be the tragic like fable of like when you are reluctant to change and your inability to adapt. Like I feel like it'll be like one of those kind of things, and it will end up like consuming him trying to do this nihilistic quest, if you will. Not nihilistic. I don't know what the right word is, but this like Jake mentions multiple times, like, dude, your mission like doesn't even make sense to you anymore. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like,
it doesn't.
It doesn't make, and you're still like standing by it because it's like you've hung everything on this idea.
It's because it's all he knows.
It's all he knows. And he's like, so this is like
order.
This is essentially a clone that has been given his memories. This isn't even Quaritch. Quaritch is dead, as they mentioned multiple times.
They bring that up not that they
which
don't.
Which is very interesting. Which is very interesting to be like just saying out loud to him.
Yeah, like they bring it up in Way of Water, but in this one it really is about. I mean, Jake has a moment where he's like, dead man's memories. Like he's like, that's not you. Just because you know that doesn't mean that it's you.
Yeah.
And the idea of
like, you are what you choose to be. And he's like Superman.
Hell yeah. It does seem like they are setting the seeds for some kind of turn of him, because obviously Edie Falco's character kind of shuts him out of conversation. There's that moment where he comes into the military briefing room or whatever, and he's in the Ash people's, he's not in his military garb. He is more connected with them. And she's like, look at yourself. You are
he's
like
with dressed up like the Ash people.
And I, it does seem like maybe Quaritch will find connection with the Na'vi and fight against the humans, but even if he does, I don't think it means that he will be fighting with Jake.
I agree, because even when in that final battle where Quaritch comes in and is like, hey, General, I'm here to help, I almost was like, but is he?
Yeah.
I think he's still doing his own thing, because in his head, all he's known is your mission is to get Jake Sully. And like that's what he's still there for. And even at a certain point, it kind of becomes more, I'm going to try to get my son.
Yeah.
And it's so like, there's the tension there. And I think it's good. And I think it's being used pretty well. But it's definitely a tension of like, Quaritch isn't really for either of them. But he's still not going to be for Jake. But also I'm like, if he's not for the humans, the pink skins, then why not be for Jake?
Yeah. I think he's going to do the rogue military leader turn god kind of thing. Like, I think he's going to try to, I feel like they're positioning him to do the Apocalypse Now thing, whereas like he went out and he just never came back because there he could be a king, and what he craved most was power. So it was like, why bother represent the other side? So, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he did the dramatic jump, like, F you guys, I don't want this I don't want your singy-songy crap.
That's the thing, yeah.
And then he did a swan dive into the fire.
Him and Varang kind of disappear.
They kind of disappear. I thought for sure there was going to be a moment where he was like, babe, you got to help me. And she was like, and like hides in the shadows. And he was going to be like, oh man, like I
Drats.
He's like, I opened up my heart to you, and
no, I think they're still going strong.
You drugged me.
Yeah, I think they found each other. They're gonna rule the Ash people together.
And there's still that could still happen in one of the later entries.
That's true.
Which is very fun. I do think it's very funny that he gets a girlfriend and she changes his wardrobe. I think that's pretty on brand.
happens to all of us.
Happened to me for the better.
Agreed.
No face paint, but
same.
It's still we're 4 years strong. There's still time.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, Varang, I will say, for a character who has like as persistent and driven as she is, I feel like her exit from the movie is a little quick.
She just disappears.
Like Kiri connects with her and uses basically Varang's power against her, right?
Yeah.
And Varang sees the other side of it, which is a moment that I like. But then Varang kind of just like runs off screen and is never seen from again.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh crap!
Even
you're
if
really powerful."
Even if we got like the last little clip of
her recouping with her people,
or even just like flying away,
yeah,
she just jumps off the boat and is gone.
She just
yeah. It wasn't like too reassuring.
After
that
Quaritch
she made
does his like jump into the like off screen, like the movie's like, all right, and you've got 60 seconds to wrap everything up. Like
it does kind
feel
of
like
they're
that.
like, okay, we're gonna accept Spider into the spirit realm and scene
done.
Which I gotta say, I'm curious if you guys thought this too or felt this, and if it doesn't happen by the end of the series, it will ruin it for me. Neytiri's got to call Spider like son.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to happen in the spirit world because what happened was there was the scene in the spirit world. It showed Spider and everyone was like putting their hand and then it flashed to Neytiri and she was smiling. And it's like, okay, is that a really subtle nod or am I just like filling it in myself because I want it to happen? But like I thought in the spirit world, she was going to be like, you're my son now.
I think we get that moment. Cameron doesn't give us that dialogue, but the moment, the scene with Jake and Spider where Jake... The moment
with
of doubt,
Jake,
where he's like, I am Neytiri, you were right. He does need to die, and Neytiri has that really. I mean, the visual obviously is not subtle. The washing the red paint, looking at the blood on her hands, and realize that she's wrong.
Yeah, very Scottish play of them.
Very Scottish play of them,
which was a nice touch though to like have her set up her like disguise and everything, and then like later it's like a motif, like pretty cool.
That was good. I will say that was
whole scene was very compelling. I also thought the movie was going to end there with the like. Almost like mercy kill of Spider, and I'm glad he didn't die because I thought that was really dark.
What was really heartbreaking is Spider being like, I know that you're going to do this and I've accepted it, but I need to make sure that you
like showed
me.
How much of a team player Spider is.
I know, which almost made it like I was like, damn, you kid, you can't. You're bored for this. Like you get the stakes.
The one thing about the Spider Miles dynamic, which I've always not bumped against, but like it does feel like Quaritch is dedicated to his mission, but does find doubt in like Miles or Spider makes him see his better self. And I feel like whenever Spider is with Quaritch, every scene is like, maybe I will be with you, Dad. Psych, fuck you. Like, they've kind of
at this point he's just playing Quaritch with that card.
He's run that play a couple times.
Because I think Quaritch is like,
it was the dog tag.
Yeah, he was just like, hey, come on, let me be your dad. Like, I actually think I want to.
I think Spider's curious about his mom.
I think he is, yeah.
And that actual truth, so I wouldn't be surprised if that plays out more. But with actual Quaritch, unless Quaritch is like, all right, Jake, I'm on your team, let's fight.
What do you think the odds are
more
that Edie Falco's like his grandma, like that was her daughter that died in the battle, and that's why she's extra like Quaritch, you're on really thin ice right now.
I don't know.
I'm thinking he's got like blonde hair, and I imagine the mom had blonde hair.
Is that the general?
That's cool. The general lady who's always in a mech suit.
I don't
drinking coffee with my robot hand.
I'm not
a big cup of coffee
against that necessarily, but I think she more just symbolizes.
She also feels like she's just I'm the American engine. I'm like the industrial complex.
Quaritch's replacement.
Yeah.
Essentially, and I think
the matriarch.
Yeah,
she's the foil to the Tolkien.
In a sense, I suppose. I think I mean, you never know, but I feel like she exists more as a foil to Quaritch than a connection to Spider.
They didn't really set up any sort of connection there, but I'm like wondering if that's going to be like a backdoor, like in the fourth one.
She seems to not give a fuck about him.
That's true.
There's that moment where they're like Giovanni Ribisi makes his return and has more to do than in the second one, and he's like, we need to focus on this
Charlie
kid.
Brown walk 0 out of 10.
No Charlie Brown walk, which was a bummer. But like he's like the kid, and she's like, no, I am like colonization focused. I don't give a fuck about this kid. Like, she's like, because he's like, don't shoot Spider, and she's like, shoot him. I don't give a shit. Like,
yeah, that's true. She's like, I'm gonna blow him out of the water with a bazooka.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So I mean, we will never know. I mean, they do announce. I know we talked about it in the last episode that Kiri is almost definitely a child of Awa.
Yep.
They confirm that
Star Baby
here.
She's Navi Jesus.
She is.
Yep.
No
father. She's Navi Anakin Skywalker.
She's essentially genetically a perfect clone of Grace.
I think it's the midichlorians.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Her blood be flowing with them.
It's true. I mean, she is like essentially super. I mean, she is.
She is. Well, she also has a prehensile ponytail. I forgot the name of the thing.
It did move.
Yeah.
She's the only one that I think can move it independently, with like a muscle.
It seems like they are setting her up.
Which is a visual I don't really love, but not because it's bad, but because I'm like, that's weird to me.
Sure. It does seem like they're setting her up to be the new Sahik, the new spiritual leader of the Reef People.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, unfortunately, Ronal,
the freaking baby
Kate Winslet character
just gives birth.
Birth
that was wild.
Mid-battle, and the way Natiri's just like
getting thrown around with the baby.
Get that baby out, girl! Like
that baby
is
very
up.
durable. I'm just gonna say it. That baby is so durable because like Natiri was still getting thrown around, and I know that they were smart with it, so it wasn't like she wasn't getting chest shot. Like
I will say,
still always breathtaking to watch her just mop the floor with some guys with that bow. Like that
she's the best.
Crazy to watch
when she's walking by.
So that like close quarter combat is nuts.
When she's walking by those guys, when she's pretending to be one of the Ash people, and that guy's like, "Yeah, she wants me."
That was like amazing
hilarious
moment.
I was like, God, she needs to fucking just bash their heads.
That was such a like, hey, Earth culture's still around.
Yeah, they're still shitheads.
Yeah.
A warning or a prophecy? Time will tell.
Well, a bit of both. Do we have any last little bits before we go into the We Need One score?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, so I'm ready to move on if you guys are.
I'll say this again to people because we've talked about this on the podcast. I just want to say just another I guess PSA from this podcast. Especially in light of
love you.
In light of recent news, we are big proponents of the theatrical experience.
Yes,
and I think this movie, long, yes, but
worth it.
In a world like, not to get too like soapboxy, but like I think everything is always so go like in life, and I think the beauty of theatrical experience is getting to disconnect from the chaos of everything that's happening. And Cameron talks about this, about the danger of the pause button of home experience, of like when you pause a movie, when you have the ability to do that, you are now in control of the experience, and the purpose of a story is to open yourself up to a new experience. And while I can see the convenience in a pause button, I think with films like this, with any film, honestly, but like this being kind of the most extreme example of it, I suppose, the theatrical experience is unparalleled. And I think to immerse yourself in IMAX and IMAX 3D, or just in a regular theater, I know ticket prices are expensive, and that is something that needs to be worked out. But this movie, like many of the movies we've discussed on this series so far, and what we'll discuss in season 2, the theatrical experience is unlike anything else. And I think watching this movie the way we saw it is just another example of how good it is. So if not that we have a ton of public sway right now, but like having the show that we have, like I want to make personally. And I think, hopefully you guys might agree, like, get out there and go see them. Go see it with a crowd.
No, do it, because, I mean, they'll just continue to put movies like in theaters, and that'll be cool again. Because like just Wake Up Dead Man just came out, and I was really sad I couldn't watch that in theaters. I feel like that movie would have been an incredible theatrical experience.
I searched high and low to find a theater to see that movie.
Yeah, and you just
could not find it
because it's just a did they even do a release, or was it just a token release?
There was some. It did not show up in any AMC or Regal near us.
That is crazy.
And we live an hour from LA.
And disappointing because that's a great movie.
Like it. I saw Knives Out and Glass Onion in theaters, and both of those experiences were incredible in a group. And I haven't seen Wake Up Dead Man yet, but I know while I'll still probably enjoy the film, it's getting good reviews. I like Rian Johnson a lot. I will not have the same experience that I did, and I think that's really unfortunate. And I think while it's nice that there were some people that got to see it in theaters, and I am very envious of those people, the point, it shouldn't just be for people that are searching high and low, that are so ingrained in the experience like us. And anybody and everybody should be able to go to the movies and have that experience. And so it should be accessible. And it is slowly not becoming that.
And as foreshadowing for season 2, I know we got one more episode, but in the new year, as we come into it, we're doing a lot of new movies. So be ready.
So sign up for your AMC stubs, your Regal Pass.
Regal Unlimited.
Yes.
I'm probably be signing up.
Sign up for both, just so I have the options.
Yeah, exactly.
To be safe.
I'm going to watch a lot of movies to take advantage of both. But
just going to say we are supporters of it because we are partakers. So
yeah.
For the score.
And it's fun. Yeah, score.
Moving on to the score.
Dave, you want to start?
Yes. Well, I'm going to give this a 2.5.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, I really enjoyed this. I think it's an incredible theatrical experience. I feel like if this is where the Avatar franchise ends, it's a little underwhelming, but only because of what we've already mentioned, that the finale of this kind of retreads over a lot of Way of Water, and some of the beats of 1. And so I feel like, as far as narrative runway go, I know there's a lot of stuff that they can do and probably have planned, but just seeing how they ended up regurgitating one of the endings, I am a little like, well, if you guys aren't, I'm a little on the fence about that. So I'm docking like a half point basically just for that. But I feel like it gets a point for all the other categories.
Is that in quality of film that you're giving it the half point?
Yeah, just I guess it's sort of like the rewatchability. It's like I feel like I'm either going to end up rewatching this one or Way of Water, and I feel like the rewatch value is like not going to be as good. But at the same time, I feel like this one is operating at the highest level of the franchise, so it's like, I don't say that to say that it's a bad movie. It's just there is so much movie that it's like, it is not a leisure, like, throw on and, like, I mean, maybe you could throw it on and like walk around, but it's almost like a movie that kind of demands a little bit of focus and and like, I don't know that I think the runtime works against it in a couple parts. So
fair.
So yeah, just kind of gonna dock a half point there. So 2.5 for me.
I will say, actually, real quick, because I just realized this is a new movie we're covering. There may be people who are not familiar with the show that are clicking on this episode. When he says 2.5, he does not mean out of 5 or 10.
This is for the sequel ability, prequel ability. Another addition in the franchise question that we tackle on We Need One More.
To give I'll give the blurb real quick.
20-second blurb.
It's a 2.5 out of 3. So these are high. This is a high score.
We have 3 categories. Each category gets either 0 points, half a point, or 1 point. The 3 categories that we speak that we are factored into our score. First one is quality of film. It's a general kind of Roger Ebert thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yes.
I think the movie is well written, well constructed. What you would basically encapsulate in a general review. The second point is rewatchability. Do you enjoy this world? Are you going to turn this movie back on? Do you find value in experiencing this world over and over again? And the third one, which is the thesis of this podcast, is narrative runway. Are there plot points, character points, themes that can continue to be explored, or new themes introduced that you would like to see in a sequel? While this is a big budget movie, might be making a ton of money, hopefully making a ton of money. Box office is not what we discuss on this series.
Yes.
We try to pretend, that we're living in a perfect world where money does not run everything. And that is what that category is. Each of us can contribute a maximum of 3 points. If it gets a 3 across the board, if it gets that 9, we offer it the additional bonus point, which gives us that perfect 10 out of 10 score and throws it onto our Hall of Fame board. Right now, Back to the Future 1 and Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves are the two movies that are in that club.
Yep.
That is kind of the blurb for new viewers, people that are watching. Yes. So your score 2.5 out of 3.
2.5 out of 3.
To say it one more time, sorry.
So it's a great movie, thumbs up, Roger Ebert style.
So 1 point for that.
Yep, half point for rewatchability and narrative runway. And then our third category,
narrative runway.
Narrative runway.
You did them different.
I guess I'm sort of combining.
What is your half point in?
I guess I'm sort of. I guess I'm docking quarter points. Really, is what I'm doing on the narrative runway and rewatchability. It's just that, like, because I feel like it's not operating very. And not to say this movie isn't rewatchable, but I feel like because this movie is so big. Rewatchable in theaters, yes. At home on like my regular TV, probably not.
Gotcha.
As you said, the power of the pause button is just all too tempting. I don't know that I could make it through, but like I think I could rewatch this in theaters in that experience because of just how like impressive it is. So it's very good. But I just found that the retreading over the same like finale beats was a little disappointing, even though there's the addition of like the fire magnet tornado thing, which was very cool. Just it ended up bumping up against a lot of what they just did in Way of Water, I think. And so while I do think the world has a lot of room to grow and do other things, they have chosen not to, almost in this one. So, so I'm kind of just docking a half point for that, I guess.
Got you. Dish?
You want to go?
Sure. No. I
Too bad. It's how I write the scores down.
It's fair. I just realized that is how we do it. I am also giving this a 2.5 out of 3. This is getting, in terms of quality of film, I am giving it the half point. I think this movie is well paced. I think it's well constructed. I think it's well performed. But I do think there are moments that just are too similar to entries that we have in the franchise. But I do think it institutes a lot of new ideas that I really enjoy. And I think it takes the characters in interesting places, and I think it pushes the characters more than it's pushed them in previous movies.
I would agree with that.
Which I really like. In terms of rewatchability, I do give it the full point. I think although some bits are familiar, I think they're still very engaging. I think, I feel you that these are long movies, that they are hard to maybe take in when you're at home, but I do think Cameron, again, never bet against Jim Cameron. He knows what he's doing, and I think even when I'm seeing stuff and I'm going, this is similar to 2 or this is similar to 1, I'm still having a good time. So I'm giving it the full point that it is managing to pull that off. And narrative runway, I'm giving it the full point. I think Spider as a character, as Na'vi and human hybrids, basically, that is a concept that they, I think, I've literally just put their finger on in terms of what that means, in terms of what the Sky people will do with that information. Can it be recreated? I think Kiri, her connection with Awa and all this other stuff, it reaches a big point of her getting to see Awa and the connection of her family helping push that connection with Awa, I think is really great. But I think there's still a lot to be explored with her, a lot to be explored with Quaritch. He is still really going through his arc, and I do not think it is over. When this movie ended, I was like, yeah, we have a lot of room to go.
There's a lot more to explore there.
So this gets, I think, when the first movie came out, people were like, what else do we have to do? Like, what is there to explore? And in 2, he goes, yeah, there is more to explore. And then at the end of 3, I was like, there's a lot more to explore.
Yep.
I think there is a lot of potential in the series, and I know he's played coy with 4 and 5, but I really hope that they happen.
I do too.
Dish?
So I think for me, give it a 2.5. So I will say total score is 7.5 for us.
Nice.
One half or a half point lower than the last one. But for me, it's similar with a half point in quality, but I kind of war with it between quality and narrative runway. From the second to the third one, I lost steam at the end of it, of wanting more. At the end of the second one, I really wanted more. At the end of the third one, I was like, they didn't do what I really was hoping.
Yeah.
Because the story, I think, and that's why I dock it with quality. I don't think the quality story-wise, even though it's phenomenally done, right? And like the way it looks, I just don't think the quality of the story like took me where I wanted to go. I think I wanted a little bit more in certain things. And I think it's hard because, like my initial question, I feel like you have like 7 main characters.
Basically, yeah.
It's really hard to do. And I totally respect even the level that they're able to do it at. But that's what I think for me kind of like makes me score it a little bit less than the last one if I did, or wherever it kind of landed, just because I want more. Right, like we scratched the surface and we're finally getting into it, and there's so much more to do, but I just felt like it was a rehash of the second one a little bit,
yeah.
And I will say, Dish, we will not explore this topic right now because we are ending the episode, but just because I want to get your reaction on air. Sigourney Weaver has said, I know you said who's the main character of this series. Sigourney Weaver has said that apparently in 4, Kiri is the narrator of the film. They're changing perspectives again.
Okay.
So
which I support.
We'll see what
I
that
almost feel like
is.
Kiri is the main character, which is why I asked. Like me personally, of maybe even the last one, but this one for sure. Like I feel like she is, right? But there's a lot that
it's like
it's
that thing
exploring a family.
I was just about to say the main character is the Sullys. Like essentially, it's their it's their journey. It's all of their story. The son narrates this one, which I thought meant that Jake was going to die in this one.
I
thought him and Quaritch were going to come to some crescendo.
People also thought he would die in the last one.
I know. I'm just like which honestly I thought it actually would have made sense if it was like a Ghost Spider. I'm taking this one for you.
The third one closes his arc.
And then his son has to step up and become Tarak Makto. I kind of thought maybe that's where we were headed. And I mean, again, still not off the table, but so I guess I'm still holding out for Duel on a Volcano.
Because he's still alive, he could still die.
That's true.
Yeah, this is true. There is still room for him to dramatically die and not see his children grow up all the way.
But anyway,
I guess we'll find out. Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
We're getting
fingers crossed.
We all want
hopefully we don't have to wait 10 years.
This one's already doing phenomenal. We're waiting 2 to 3. Like,
yeah,
I hope
there's no way.
Yeah.
Anyways,
any final thoughts?
Next week's our
go
last.
Watch it.
Go watch it.
Yes.
Go watch it.
And next week is our last episode of the season.
Alive. Yes.
We are ending on a little holiday episode, and I will say. I'm trying to think of a way to segue from Avatar because we've kind of done that with all the other series into the movie that we're doing.
Is it the pointy ears?
That's what I was thinking, but I was like, is that how can I set that up? Well,
do you think Quaritch is on the naughty list?
That is, there you go,
there
Dave.
We go.
I think if he was on the naughty list, which he probably is, if he was,
who could help get him off the list, Matt?
Well, after he's done helping his dad, I'm sure Buddy the Elf would certainly help Quaritch, or Quaritch would find
Christmas
him
cheer.
deeply fucking
Sank
annoying.
that transition.
A little bit of both.
For our final episode of the season, we are covering Elf, the Will Ferrell, Jon Favreau holiday classic from 2003.
Probably the last new movie to enter the Christmas pantheon. Of,
something I think we talk about next week.
Yeah, we kind of do. Yeah,
we recorded that episode.
Really
that we might talk about next week when we record next.
That's true. Definitely not an episode we recorded in October.
What year?
November. First week of November.
I don't know. I do a lot of time traveling, so I still have no idea where we are and where we're not.
But
watch it.
Watch it.
Watch
if
it.
you haven't seen it or
enjoy
rewatch
your holidays.
And we'll talk about next season a little bit in the next episode. But as this is our last recording,
follow us on Instagram because we post updates there.
Yes.
Most. And
follow
clips
us on TikTok
everywhere
for
else.
little clips and snippets
for little laughs.
What's to come.
We have a lot of fun stuff planned. I'm very excited for this season to end. Guys, let's hop on our Banshees and ride on out of here.
All right. I'm going to connect to the reindeer, I think, and ride to the next year.
Smart. There you go. I'm going to do Coke or whatever the fire
Jingle
people do.
bells
Didn't they do Coke?
Yeah.
It was like they did Coke, right?
They did, yeah.
All right. Well,
Yep.
I'm not going to do that. Don't do drugs. Thank you for listening to We Need One More.
Be sure to follow us on socials like TikTok and Instagram at WNOM Podcast to stay up to date on upcoming episodes.
And feel free to join our Discord community where you can share your thoughts on the movies we're watching together. That's going to be at WNOM Podcast server with the link in the bio.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. That's the best way to support the show and to let us know that you need one more.
We'll see you next week. This podcast is produced by Pilot 9 and 9 Ball Creative.